Hey guys, so for this video I'm going to be doing some loaded bacon cheese fries. They're going to be so good. I also have a dessert to show you guys that I'm going to be trying at the end, and I also am going to be doing a story time in this video, so be sure to keep watching if you're interested in any of that. I'm going to assemble these fries now and get eating, so let's go. So here they are. I think they look pretty good other than that freaking plop of sour cream right there. So let's go eat this. Hey guys, so I know this is not where I usually film. The lighting is going crazy, so I had to completely move all my furniture to the other side. So sorry about that. Here are the fries. Some of my Diet Coke. I also just got a new mic. I'm not quite sure where to place it yet, so hopefully the sound is okay. Let's take a bite. Potatoes are so good. Oh my god. Please make this. Oh my god, this is so good. Some people might think that putting tomato on this is kind of weird, but it makes such a good difference because everything else is so heavy and like salty and fatty. The tomato is like so fresh and so good. The jalapeno, oh my god, everything. This is all my favorite stuff on one plate, so I'm loving this. Oh, there's so much cheese. I need to do my story time, but I can't stop eating. A few more bites and I'll get started. This is the dessert that I'm going to be trying. Sneak peek. Can you guys see what that is? Oh yeah. Ooh. Okay, so I'm gonna start my story time. If you guys follow me on Instagram or Twitter, self-promotion, you guys would know I just got back from a trip to San Francisco. I was staying with my friend in San Francisco for a few days, and she lives in the prettiest, biggest, brightest condo, so I really wanted to film a video while I was up there. I brought my tripod and everything, but she has people that live below her and people that live above her. The people that live below her is a family that has like an infant child. The people that live above her, it's like a family of like 4 or 5, but they have a 2-year-old little kid, are kind of annoying, and the one that lives above her is like the loudest little kid. This kid literally would run back and forth like probably like 20 hours a day, no matter if it was like 12 in the afternoon or like 8 p.m. or like 3 in the morning. You would hear this kid running back and forth upstairs, and I just literally could not film a video there. Like, it was so irritating to listen to. I was like kind of testing the sound, and you could totally hear the kid running back and forth. I was like, there's no way I can film a video in here. But I only stayed with her for a couple days, and I wanted to like scream every time I heard the kid. It almost started to give me like anxiety. You would hear the kid stop running for a couple minutes, and you would be like, okay, it's over. And then like 5 minutes later, he would start running again, and it would just like tense me up and like make me grit my teeth. I understand, I'm not blaming the little kid. He doesn't know what he's doing, but like the parents, like, come on, take the kid to a freaking park or something. Clearly has a lot of energy. I got back from that trip. I was thinking to myself, wow, I'm so lucky. I've never had neighbors like that before. I've never had like super loud, annoying neighbors like that. But then I remembered when I first moved to LA, I had the most annoying, creepiest neighbor ever, and I can't believe I forgot about this guy. But let me start from the beginning here. I have so much blush on. Oh my god. Okay, so when I first moved to LA, I moved in with a girl that I met off of Craigslist. She and I just lived in this it was kind of a ghetto apartment building. It was super cheap. It was like the bare minimum sort of apartment building. It was one of those buildings where you never really saw your neighbors. So we really didn't know any of our neighbors. I was only in school at the time, so I kind of had the same schedule every single day. I would basically go to school and then be home by like 3 o'clock. And one day I got home, and we did have a parking garage with assigned parking spaces. So yeah, I drove home, parked in my parking spot, and I noticed that in the car next to me, the guy was still sitting in his car. So I looked over, and he was looking over at me. So he immediately got out of his car, and he introduced himself to me. It turns out that he was in the apartment right next door to mine. He basically just introduced himself and was telling me that he was in cooking school and just like kind of telling me his whole life story. And I was just like kind of like, yeah, okay, cool. Well, nice meeting you. Bye. So I didn't really think that much of him. So like 2 days after I met this guy, I come home again around the same time. It was like 3 o'clock. And again, I look over and he's sitting in his car again. I don't know if he was waiting for me or just coincidentally sitting in his car. But again, he sees that I see him, so he comes out of his car and starts talking to me. Like I said, he was in culinary school, so he was telling me that he was constantly cooking and baking things for school, and he always had like extra food. So he asked me if it was okay for him to bring me and my roommate like food from his classes or whatever. So I was like, yeah, sure, like free food, of course. And I didn't think it was one of those things that was actually going to happen. I thought he was just trying to like make conversation. But later that night, like 3 hours later, that same day, we get a knock on our apartment door, and it's the neighbor guy. And I guess I should call him a name. I actually think his real name was David. I can't really remember, but I'll call him David. So David knocks on our door, and he's like, hey, I just made this food. I really want you guys to try it. So I'm just like, okay, like, this is very soon, but okay, like, I'll try your food. And he doesn't just like knock on the door and hand us the food. He literally walks into our apartment, walks into the kitchen, and like sets the food down on our counter. And my roommate and I are both kind of like, why is this guy walking in our apartment right now? But I don't know, I thought he was just being nice, and he like was bringing us his food. So I'm like, okay. And then he left. I didn't have a huge problem with that. I think he just thought that we were all friends or something. So I was like, okay, whatever. He did that like a handful of other times, and it was always the same thing. Like he would knock on our door and then just like walk right in and then try and like sit on our couch and like talk to us, and it was so annoying, but it wasn't like creepy yet at that point. So I didn't think it was a big deal. I don't even know the time frame of when all this happened. It was probably only like 2 or 3 weeks after I initially met him. But again, I came home from school at the same time. It was like 3 p.m. And again, he's waiting in his car, and as soon as he sees me, he comes out of his car and starts talking to me, and he asked me out on a date, which, to give you guys a little bit of a backstory, back then, I was 18 years old. I was the least experienced person ever when it comes to dating. I'd never dated anyone in high school. I don't even think I'd kissed a guy yet at this point. Oh my god, I have to tell you guys my first kiss story. My first kiss was with a YouTuber that I actually was a huge fan of at VidCon. That's a whole nother story. Anyways, I had zero dating experience, and this guy was like 30 asking me out. So I just kind of froze and got really awkward and was just like, oh, I'm busy, but yeah, maybe we can go out sometime. And you guys know I don't know how to reject people that I'm not interested in. But anyways, so he's like, yeah, okay, cool, great. And then that was that. After he asked me out, in my head I'm thinking like, I really don't want to go out with this guy. I'm gonna just have to avoid him until I move, which I happen to be moving like 3 weeks later. So I was just thinking in my head like, okay, let me just avoid this guy for 3 weeks. I'm gonna move and I'll never see him again, because that's how I handle things apparently. So yeah, after that point, I tried to avoid him the best that I could. Anytime he would knock on the door, I would tell my roommate, don't open the door, like don't answer. I literally started parking on the street because I didn't want him to know when I was home, because he could tell when I was home because my car was in the parking garage. So I literally started parking on the street on some days. I would take like the stairwell to get to my apartment instead of the main elevator because I didn't want to run into him. I was so stupid, but I was just trying so hard to avoid this guy. So this is where it started getting a little bit creepy. There was one day that I was home alone. I had just gotten home from school again. Again, it was like 3 o'clock. This guy, I swear, like must have memorized my schedule because he happened to always knock on the door like as soon as I got home. I get a knock on the door and I knew it was him again. I was sitting in my living room. I'm just like, freeze. Like, don't answer, don't move. Like, I don't want to talk to this guy right now. He keeps knocking. He pauses. He keeps knocking again. I'm obviously not answering the door. And this is where I started getting freaked out. He starts trying to open the door to the apartment. Like, I hear him jiggling the doorknob. So I'm in my head like freaking out at this point, thinking like, what is this guy doing? He's trying to literally come into my apartment because I'm not answering the door. It was so scary. And again, I was home alone sitting on the couch listening to this, just like frozen in fear, because I was like, I mean, the door was locked, so obviously he couldn't come in, but I was just like, is this dude literally trying to walk into my apartment right now? Like, what? So he tried jiggling the doorknob and coming in a couple times, and eventually he gave up and left. I got so freaked out. I didn't even tell my roommate because I thought that maybe it was a one-time thing and like it wasn't that weird at the time, but it happened again a few days after. Like, he knocked on the door. I was the only one home at that time again. He starts knocking harder, like pounding on the door. And again, I'm just so scared. This guy's trying to like come into my apartment because I won't answer the door. What if the door wasn't locked? Would he be coming into my apartment and trying to find me? Like, that was so creepy. My roommate was almost never home because she worked full-time as well. So a lot of times it was just me in the apartment alone, and it happened again a third time. After the third time it happened, I ended up moving out literally like 2 days after that. So thankfully I never saw him again. Nothing ever happened, but that really freaked me out at the time. And looking back now, obviously I know I should have just like told him like, hey, I'm not interested, please leave me the F alone. But even so, like if someone is not answering the door to their apartment, it's probably not the best idea to like keep pounding on their door and keep trying to get into their apartment. Like, it's a little bit creepy. The sun is going down. Oh my god. But yeah, that was the last time I've ever really had any sort of issue with one of my neighbors. But I'm curious if you guys watching this, if you guys have ever had any horrible neighbors, definitely leave your story down below. Or maybe you're just a lucky one and have always had cool neighbors. So I think I'm going to stop right here because I really want to show you guys the dessert, and this video is already super long. This is cookie dough that you can actually eat raw because there's no egg and no dairy in this. This is one that is actually 100% safe to eat. I actually found this at Target the other day and it was only $3.50 for this container, and it's actually like a pretty big container. But what's also cool about this is you can eat it raw, or it says you can also just bake it in the oven like normal cookie dough. And it cooks up like regular cookies. So I just want to try this. There's still cheese on my fork. Mmm. Oh my god. It has that gritty, like sugar texture. Mmm. This is really good, and I think it's so fun that you can eat it raw or bake it if you want to. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. I'm not going to eat this whole thing. I just want to do a taste test. The packaging is so cute too. Sorry for the crappy lighting, you guys. Thank you again so much for watching. I hope you liked my story time. Be sure to leave any requests that you guys have down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.